Have you ever had a prophetic dream of a stranger in tattered rags coming up to you and telling you to be the first person to try this brand new thirst quencher mystery flavor blue Gatorade? I mean, sure, the safety seal on the lid looks broken already, but the prospect of missing out on being the first to try the mythical 23rd flavor of the thirst quencher line feels like too great of a weight to bear. Why not, you say while emphatically guzzling down? The life of a scavenger is a relatively simple one. Wake up, drink elixir. Wake up, see Flameborn, terrorize Flameborn. Regret terrorizing Flameborn. Drink more elixir. Despite leading rather simple lives, scavengers can be quite sophisticated individuals. While the words they shout may be unintelligible, this does not mean that they are illiterate. Quite the opposite, in fact, as they have shown to be capable of writing literary masterpieces such as Hot Springtime or Don't Whip Me, Mommy. Poetry, leisure, and violence aren't the only things that scavengers are capable of either. Playing seemingly harmless pranks on each other is also a fond pastime of theirs. You can observe the results of one of their practical jokes when you come across the scavenger camp with Mineshaft, where you'll find a lifeless skeleton trapped behind a mix of rubble and explosive barrels, as well as 2 notes detailing how the prank went wrong. Most scavengers used to be somewhat regular people, until the elixir made its appearance in Embervale. The elixir, made from liquefied Shroud mycelium, grants those who imbibe it with superhuman strength, while dulling their senses and even completely suppressing feelings of fear. For the common people of Embervale, the elixir proved to be an addictive substance, slowly but ever so gradually rearranging the psyches of those who partook in it regularly. It instilled in them an insatiable thirst for more, while at the same time heightening their aggression. Some of these now scavengers were merely regular citizens throughout the several towns and capitals of Embervale, ultimately driven mad by the effects of the elixir. Many found that they had no choice but to either partake of the elixir or simply die of thirst, as the roots of the Shroud crept beneath the lands of Embervale, with the ever-growing mycelium draining much of the environment of its sources of water. Evidence of entire towns falling into ruin due to the effects of the elixir can be found when you come across a few lore notes in Glenwood's End. One comes from a royal inquisitor by the name of Lachlan. Inquisitor Lachlan notes the state of disarray that has befallen the properties of the principality, directly citing the elixir as the source of the people's sudden shift towards negligent behavior, going as far as to say that it makes monsters of men. Despite locking himself away from the locals, another note can be found in the town, in which the royal court accuses the townsfolk of murder, as they had sent the Inquisitor's severed head back to the court as a form of insult. Now, Shroud spores eventually corrupt those infected by them, warping their bodies into pale blue fell enemies found within the Shroud. So how is it that the scavengers are largely unturned, when the elixirs are made from essentially the same substance? While it's unclear how they haven't turned into fell creatures at this point, some speculate that drinking large amounts of the elixir daily has led to the scavengers developing something of a resistance to the Shroud's form of fell mutation. It might not be too far off to assume that something in the distillation process changes the mutagenic properties of the Shroud liquid. We see it warping them into the leathery red-skinned lunatics we encounter today, running about the deserts digging for more liquid crack, as opposed to fully turned members of the Blue Man group. Perhaps primarily due to the effects of the elixir, scavengers come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. You've got shirtless scythe-wielding head wrap guy, shirtless scythe-wielding helmet guy, shirted scythe-wielding guys, crossbow guys, harmless puppy named Cupcake, Fent Fiend, anthropomorphic hammerhead sharks, the Fire Dancer, Wino Mom, and the Dominatrix. Out of all the ones listed, my personal favorite is the Berserker. If you've ever run into one at night, you'll know that it truly sells the heart-pounding experience of running from a drug-addled psycho, chasing you at 3 a.m. in the morning with the intent of murdering you and stealing all your belongings. Now, despite the sheer variety of scavengers that exist throughout the world, only 2 on that list are generally at the top of the hierarchy, that being the Scavenger Matron and the Scavenger Tyrant. The Scavenger Matron rules with an acidic bite and a gluttony for the limeade thirst quencher flavor of Elixir, injected directly into their bloodstreams right in the heart. The copious amount of potions these matrons intake seems to have a direct correlation to their gargantuan size and power, while also leading to chronic stomach upset, to the point that a matron can discharge lime green Gatorade at will, hurling flesh-melting bile at anything that dares challenge her rule. The Scavenger Tyrant, true to her title, rules with a crooked smile and a wicked whip to the backs of her underlings. Whether or not the scavengers that serve under her all share the same opinion as the one who wrote that one particular note is unknown, but I imagine it wouldn't be too far off. They all leap in to attack rather quickly at the crack of the Tyrant's whip, a little too enthusiastically if you ask me. When it comes to sheer brutality, scavengers unsurprisingly prefer to fight dirty, working together to quickly overwhelm opponents with numbers. This is evidenced by the note found in the arena at Suret's Rest, where it details the matron's lackeys outnumbering the knight, Gabrielle Fairburn, in an unfair fight to Gabrielle's untimely demise. Records of other instances of their heinous handiwork can be found throughout Embervale, detailing their plundering of innocent territories. One example of these many recounts comes from a lone villager courageously preparing to single-handedly defend their home in Ferndale from an onslaught of the elixir-rabid maniacs. But in contrast to their savage plundering of innocent human territories, the scavengers surprisingly show signs of affection to animals, to the point of voting on cute names for a cat. However, the scavengers still aren't to be trusted, as they wouldn't hesitate to eat said cat, named Captain Whiskers, if it were to come to that point. Ultimately, the mental state of the scavengers appears too far gone to be redeemed, with no signs of any sort of cure to their warped state in sight. Their dependence on the elixir has proven to be far too great, with it being both addictive as well as one of their only sources of hydration until recently. So it doesn't seem that they'd be changing their violent, wacky ways anytime soon. What do you think of the scavengers? Are they truly irredeemable, cold-blooded killers? Or is there hope for them yet somewhere in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, since this is a bit different from the other videos I've posted on this channel so far. I really enjoy talking about story and lore in games, so let me know if you'd like me to make more videos like this. Also, before you go, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Every bit of support helps me out a ton, and I really appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.